Chasing Tales, Episode 17, Deep Blue Dreams.
You find yourself in the Splish Splash Club. Tonight, Sarah is singing.
Way to bring me shallow in shallow shows. English souls do it. Goldfish in the privacy of bowls do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love.
She spreads her hands and bows to the crowd. She turns, winks at Will, then wanders to her dressing room. In the hospital, Kevin sits near Pink, who lays in bed.
Wait, mermaids? The man killers? Dragging men to their doom with their songs? You know, the sexy ladies. The ones the old sailors talk about when they drink too much.
Well, they aren't exactly like that. But that's a story for another time. This time you wanted to hear about Sprex.
Oh, yeah, right.
I had saved some podlings, and the mermaids gracefully altered the curse.
What did they change?
They modified it to give me a little leeway on form. I could be a fish and a mermaid now.
Still well waterbound, but an improvement.
In the pod's territory, we'd been seeing a lot of one boat, the Potent Word. They flew the black flag and had been sitting just outside the harbor waiting. It was worrying the nearby villages. I set out and found the ship and called out to a sailor on deck. Ahoy, sailor.
Pink rose out of the water on waterspout, just under the rail. She waved as the scruffy sailor leaned over the edge in surprise.
Well, I'll be stuffed. I expected a dinghy.
No, just me. Can you tell me why you're out here, just sitting here? What are you waiting on?
Turnkey lowered his voice and looked over his shoulder. Sprex and Six stood at the wheel talking.
Who knows, the captain is strange like this sometimes. Who are you?
My name's Pink. At least that's what the mermaids call me.
My name's Matthew, but the lads call me Turnkey.
Is that your surname?
Nah, they call me that 'cause I can open anything.
Of course, you're pirates, right?
More or less.
Who's your captain?
That'd be Captain Sprex.
What's he like?
Turnkey looked around again for Sprex, so as not to be overheard.
He's a beast of a man. Some say he's half devil, but who knows? Best not to tangle with him.
The sound of heavy boots thumped down the stairs, as if they were summoned. The captain in all his fine regalia thumped onto the deck to see what Turnkey was doing.
Back to work, you dog.
He shoved him aside, making him stumble.
Aye, Captain.
Sprex looked over the side. Pink took one look at him and ducked back under the water. He only managed to see the tip of her tail before it disappeared. He grabbed Turnkey by the collar.
What does she want?
She wanted to know what we were doing here.
Did she know?
She was probably looking out for the pod.
Mermaids are not a concern. We're immune to their charms and they can't attack us out of the water. Leave them alone.
Aye, sir.
Sprex was curious now. Why would they send one of their own? They have spies who are less conspicuous. The barnacles could have told him more than this ragamuffin. Sprex stomped back down the stairs. Six stood at the wheel, the salty air blowing his hair around heroically.
What do you suppose the mermaids want?
Probably mating season. They're likely looking for a handout.
Six smirked suggestively.
Well, they won't find it here, eh?
Sprex laughed and nudged
Aye,
him.
sir.
At the club, everything's quiet. The chairs are stacked on the table, the bar is clean. The only real noise is the hum of the air pump in the giant fish tank at the back of the stage. Sarah is spread out on a couch in her dressing room, asleep in Will's lap. He looks at his watch and realizes it's time for him to get home.
Sarah, wake up. I have to go.
She rubs her eyes and shifts positions to let him get up. He leans down, kisses her softly on her silky hair. They had been talking since the band knocked off around midnight. It was about 3 o'clock, and she had been asleep for a little while. She was so pretty, he didn't have the heart to move her before now. He slid carefully out of the room and closed the door. He knocks on Jack's office door.
Huh? Will, what are you still doing here?
Sarah's asleep in her dressing room. I'm going home.
Alright, Will, see you tomorrow.
Jack, it is tomorrow.
Jack looked at his watch and scoffed. The pile of paperwork didn't seem that much smaller. He stretched and went to get Sarah up.
I can get her up. Where's she staying?
At the Lariat at the end of the park. Go wake her up, I'll wait. It might not be a good idea for you to walk her back, though.
I don't care.
Suit yourself. Just be careful.
Jack finished what he was working on. Soon Sarah appeared, Will holding her up.
Come on, you two, let's go.
Rissa stood over the bed. The nurses had come to collect Kevin around midnight. She stroked Pink's hair gently, pushing it away from the swollen lump. She lay a hand on it. The bump disappeared. Pink smiled in her sleep, no doubt from the pleasure of Rissa's expert touch. Pole scoffed as he watched from the shadows.
That's mighty soft of you, Rissa. You'd have made a sweet little mommy. Watch yourself. Showing a little mercy to get what you want is one thing. Feeling things is another. Greys are nothing but trouble.
We've played this game for a while. I can give one every now and then.
Pole hitches his thumb out the door.
You hungry? They got a wing for sick kids.
Sure, I could eat.
She walks out of Pink's room and down the hall with him.
I don't know why I don't kill her. She's just an annoyance at this point.
Rissa's lips tightened. She chose to say nothing. She knew if Specs killed Pink, they would both lose something.
He must see something we don't.
The smell of intense pain wafted over them as they neared the children's ward. They sat invisibly, just breathing it in.
What do you see in her, I wonder?
Rissa desperately wanted somebody to talk to who might understand, but she knew that he was the only one to keep an eye on her. His natural radiant air of comfort and safety made it hard to not open up to him. She moved out of his radius and perched across the room next to an iron lung with a tiny human poking out of it. It was enough to block the influence. Will and Sarah came in the back entrance. One of the waitstaff was in the service elevator when they came in. He gave Will a look. Will looked back. His face innocent and wholesome, but the air in this place was tense, until the waiter's floor came up and he walked out with the tray. Their room was next. Soon they stood before the door of Sarah's room. She kissed him on the cheek and disappeared inside. Will floated the half a block home. He came in singing. Kate was already up.
Oh, good night at work, son?
Yeah, I finally got Eric back. And I met the most beautiful, amazing, marvelous girl.
And when am I gonna get to meet her?
Soon as I can arrange it.
Is she at the club to work with you?
She is. Her name is Sarah Starling. She's singing for the next couple of weeks. Good thing, too, because Miss Pink's in the hospital.
Oh, what happened to Pink? Is she gonna be alright?
She hit her head on the stage and got a goose egg, but the doc thinks she'll be fine and out the day.
Well, I'll take her something to eat when she gets home today. No reason she should have to cook.
She was bragging about your biscuits and gravy to Sarah.
Sounds fine. Go get some sleep, son.
I don't think I can, Mama. All I can think about is Sarah.
Oh, well, tell me about her then. What is she like? Where is she from?
She's from here. She's been in New York working the clubs there.
She white?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter to me.
It will matter to other people, though. Be careful, son. I don't want you to get hurt.
I would face a dragon for Sarah to be mine.
That's fine. Just watch out for trouble here. A black man and a white woman is still taboo in most places. This is not New York, son.
Kate shook her head and smiled to herself. It was about time. In Otto's, they had gotten most of the damage cleared up and the place was as tidy as it ever is.
Are you still getting a ping, Mistra?
Yes. It appears to be very weak moving around. Can't you see anything?
9. You would think the pulse would have gotten all of them. I'll keep looking. Send Ace when he gets finished with class. Maybe we can pulse the room again.
Of course, Otto.
A tiny spider climbed inside the probe that laid open on the workbench, and it settled in.
Will the boys find the spider? Will Sarah and Will be able to overcome the prejudice of the times? Will Ressa surrender to Pole's influence? Stay tuned for the next episode of Chasing Tales, a bridge for troubled waters.
Birds do it, bees do it, even educated fleas do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. In Spain the best opposites do it. Lithuanians, let's do it, let's do it, let's fall in love. The Dutch in old Amsterdam do it, not to mention the Finns. Folks in Siam do it. Think of Siamese twins, some Argentines without means do it. People say in Boston that even beans do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Romantic sponges, they say do it. Oysters down in Oyster Bay, they do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Cold Cape Cod clams, against their wish do it. Even lazy jellyfish do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Electric eels, I might add to it, though it shocks my nose. Why ask if Shad do it? Way to bring me shadow in shallow shows. English souls do it. Goldfish in the privacy of